Good afternoon. Welcome once again to the Mayor's Weekly Press Conference. It's really pleasant outside. If you haven't been out in it, you gotta get out in it. You know, I really wouldn't understand why you're staying inside. But once again, our weather reporter is here with us today, Kyle Johansson. Kyle, take it away.
So today it's going to be partly cloudy skies with a high of 80 degrees. Tomorrow, sunny skies, high of 79 degrees. Friday, the 30th, partly cloudy, high of 84 degrees. Saturday, August 31st, partly cloudy, high of 83 degrees. Sunday, September 1st, mostly cloudy, high of 83 degrees. Labor Day, mostly sunny, 83 degrees. And Tuesday, September 3rd, sunny skies, high of 85 degrees.
Thank you, Kyle. Kyle had a request for me last week. He sent me a text and said, I know that you're going to be meeting Kyle's number one. Kyle is the number one fan of Rufus at Ohio University's mascot. And he'd asked if I would make sure that I told Rufus that he has a very special gift for Rufus. And Rufus gave a huge thumbs up. And Kyle is looking forward to engaging with you at the first football game, which is how many days?
3 days.
3 days from now. Kyle counts the days in which he's going to engage with Rufus and attend those games. I think what you do is fantastic, yeah. Kyle. Plus, he keeps me on point with what the weather is. So thank you, Kyle.
You're welcome.
Several things around the city. As usual, I'll start with engineering and public works related items. Our street improvements. We are looking at continued paving through 9/6, so through next Friday, the following streets, Richland Avenue. I talked about this before. I think doing the top coat, the final coat, or final layer, which will be between Schaefer Street to the Hocking River, Schaefer Street, Richland Avenue to Union Street, Carroll Road, which will be Roxbury Drive to Dove Drive. And then the schedule will continue to go on. We've talked about all the various streets that are being repaved this year. So as is typical, they will be hopping around throughout the city getting those repaving projects done. And I've mentioned this before, I'll mention it again. A lot of this is weather dependent. If there's a lot of rain coming down, they can't be laying asphalt because it will not bond properly. Another thing you may have noticed going on around the city is that there's some geotechnical borings. There's equipment out there doing, not just soil sampling, but doing borings to look at the strata underneath. Our surfaces around the city, West Union Street and Dairy Lane, they're going to be doing some borings. That will be August 28th through September 3rd that's taking place. Dairy Lane work will be between Elliottsville Road and Richland Avenue. So keep that in mind. West Union will be occurring between State Route 682 and Schaefer Street. The traffic will be flagged if the boring equipment is in those areas, but travel will be maintained. Fire hydrant flushing, that is still going on. I was just talking to Chief Reimer, our fire chief. And August 26th through August 30th will be East State Street surrounding the area of May Avenue to Graham Drive. And that will likely be wrapping up pretty soon when it comes to all the fire hydrant testing and flushing in the area. ODOT, I've talked about this before. The Walk Bike Ohio is launching the first ever pedestrian and bicycle policy planning. If you're interested in this, you can go to the city's website to www.ci.athens.oh.us and go fill out the survey that they have, so you can put in your 2 cents as to what your thoughts on active transportation and the growing interest in active transportation around the city as well as around the state. So that survey will stay open until August 31st. So again, encourage people to go on the city's website, www.ci.athens.oh.us, and take the survey. Some other things I want to mention coming up. On the 6th of September, the upper level of the parking garage, the top deck, upper and lower 6, there will be an event going on there. It's called Fall Fest that is being sponsored by Ohio Brew Week. That will be from 6 to 10 p.m. on the top deck. So know that from a parking perspective, but also know it from something to go and do on the 6th of September. The Black Alumni Reunion is coming up as well, September 13th. They too will be using the top floor of the parking garage, upper and lower 6, for an event, and that will be from 5 to 7 p.m., where they're going to, I'm sure, have some food, possibly some beverages up there on the top deck. So the 13th of September and the 6th of September, there are some happenings up there. The Athens Community Center has a couple things going on. Child Watch is back on Tuesday, September 3rd. Let us watch your children while you work out on your fitness goals or catch up on work with your laptop in the lobby. So it's a pretty cool event. There's a 5, 10, or 15 visit punch card that's available for $5 a visit, to where you can either get your work done or get in a good workout at the community center. So come check that out and take advantage. Also, looking for youth soccer coaches for the fall soccer. Also looking for soccer officials. These are paid positions. You can contact Aaron Helms at ehelms@ci.athens.oh.us if you're interested in volunteering as a coach or being a soccer official where you will get paid to officiate. The Athena Award, we've talked about this before. The Athena Award is the only award that the city gives out, and it is an award that goes to those who go above and beyond when they're helping those with special needs or with disabilities. I encourage people to nominate somebody. You can also self-nominate if you're interested, or an organization can be nominated for the Athena Award. This is the 5th annual. The entries or nominations will be accepted through Tuesday, October 1st, 2019, obviously this year. So again, if you know of somebody or an organization that you think is deserving of that award, please nominate them. The awards can be sent to, sent right here, send it to the city building, 8 East Washington Street. So send it on up to my office, and I will get it to the Commission on Disabilities, and I believe it's the commission that will be doing the vetting of the entrance. A couple last city news items that I've got. Arts West, they're having a imbricated, a survey of work of 3 institutions. And down below that, it has the Instrument Petting Zoo at the Gloucester Library. This is going to be Friday, September 6th from 5 to 7 p.m. Opening reception for this event is, I believe, at the Gloucester Library, if I'm not mistaken. The other item that we have is an ice cream social at Gloucester Library, which features the Southeast Ohio Musical Lending Library. And again, this is in conjunction with the Instrument Petting Zoo. I like that name. That's interesting. Instrument Petting Zoo. Again, at the Gloucester Library, Public Library, which is at 20 Toledo Street in Gloucester, Ohio. So come check that out. Again, that ice cream social will be Thursday, August 29th from 5 to 7 p.m. Something that's going to be new, at least under my administration, we are going to start posting online the minutes from the mayor's biweekly staff meeting. We meet every other Monday in City Hall in the conference room. When I say we, it's all staff for the city, senior administrative staff. So it's department heads, to include our police chief, our fire chief, the new director for development and public development and code enforcement. It also includes our director for engineering and public works, arts, parks, and recreation. I'm probably leaving out a few people, but there's a number of us who get together. So those minutes, as for information from the past 2 weeks, as well as projects that are ongoing, will come up. So we will have that out there for anyone to access. We're going to get those into Scott Thompson's hot hands, and he's going to get it up on the city's website for us so anybody can see what we are discussing in those meetings. I have a proclamation that I want to read. And this is something that Thomas Smith, some years ago now, came to me and said, Mayor, would you be willing to read a proclamation to raise awareness of prostate cancer? And I didn't even hesitate to say yes. I would absolutely read a proclamation, as well as intermittently, and Tom and I were just discussing this moments ago, intermittently our cupola will be lit blue. And I say intermittently because September is also Child Cancer Awareness Month, and so we'll be going kind of back and forth between the cupola being blue and the cupola being lit up gold. So we'll have a couple things, and I'm sure we're going to see more and more of that as we're trying to raise awareness for everybody of a whole slew of things. But let me read this proclamation. Whereas prostate cancer is the most commonly diagnosed form of cancer in men and the second leading cause of cancer-related deaths among men, and whereas this year, approximately 174,650 men will be diagnosed with prostate cancer in the United States, and roughly 31,620 men will die this year from this disease, which is one man every 17 minutes. And whereas 1 in 9 men will get prostate cancer sometime in his lifetime, African American men are at the highest risk for the disease, with a rate of 1 in 6 men. African American men are 2.2 times more likely to die from this disease. And whereas veterans are 1.5 times more likely to get prostate cancer. And whereas education regarding prostate cancer and early detection strategies is critical to saving lives and preserving and protecting our families. And whereas all men are at risk of prostate cancer, and we encourage the citizens of Athens to be aware of the importance of prostate screenings. Now, therefore, I, Steve Patterson, the mayor of the city of Athens, Ohio, do hereby proclaim September 2019 as National Prostate Cancer Awareness Month. So thank you to all who are always on the forefront, making sure this message is getting out there so that men are doing what they need to be doing to protect themselves. And I like how within the proclamation it speaks to protecting their families as well. So it's saving lives. So thank you. I have a special guest here. As I was talking about the biweekly staff meetings that I hold, we have a new addition to the city of Athens. I've got David Riggs here with me today, and David is taking over that role of the Director for Development and Code Enforcement. David, welcome. Welcome to the weekly press conference, and I want to give you a few moments to kind of talk about yourself, describe, your experience in the public sector, which you have a lot of experience in the public sector world, which is one of the reasons we're so happy to get you here to Athens and for you to accept. But talk a little bit about yourself, David.
Thanks, Mayor. I'm really excited to be here. I was born and raised in this area a couple of years ago, and I've been all over the country working and living, and I just love this place. So it's a really exciting opportunity for me to come back to my roots. And Athens is such a great community. I'm really excited to be here, to be able to help the citizens and businesses expand and grow. We really want to work on safety for the community, and I'm just really excited to be here. My background, I'm a civil engineer, a professional engineer. I've had several years of experience in the private sector as a consultant. I worked in Washington, D.C. in floodplain management. I also have done a lot of construction work throughout the country. I decided that I would be better fit to help communities. I really like working with people, and the government job seemed to really appeal to me. So for the last 22 years, I've been working in the government. Worked for a city of Mason, Ohio, and around Cincinnati, as the assistant city engineer and the public works director. And this is, like I said, this is a great opportunity for me to come over to a place I really love and help work with the community.
This is great, and as David indicated, his skill sets are really going to be, I think, work well with kind of the new look and feel for the what we formerly would call the Department of Code Enforcement, but now the Department of Development and Code Enforcement, because we're kind of expanding things a little bit. So again, David, thank you for being here. You will see David out and about, no doubt. He will be all over the place. At this point, as he mentioned this morning, he's absorbing things like a sponge down at the code office and trying to come up to speed on the city's code. But again, he's not a stranger to city ordinances and the way in which municipalities work. So again, thank you.
Yeah,
and
sure, thank you.
Really
Thank excited to be here, guys. Thanks.
You know, the last thing I just want to share is that last Sunday, was the convocation of the incoming class at Ohio University. I was there attending the convocation as well as doing the standing tradition of having the incoming class walk from the convo up to the college green and onto the college green to what is something called the Student Organization Fair. It was fascinating to watch all of the sororities, fraternities, student orgs, as well as supporting services were all kind of up there, just about everything and anything. It also included club sports, and a sundry of different sports that were up there. I didn't realize that there was a fencing club, there's a wakeboarding club, ski club. I knew there was a ski club, equestrian club. So they had all these different organizations up there so that people, the incoming class, could kind of get a look and feel for all the different things they could get involved in. The city also had a table up there, which I have to give a lot of credit to my executive assistant, Patty Whitmer. Patty put together a trifold pamphlet that spoke to some of the boards and commissions that actually have posts for someone who is an undergraduate or a graduate student. And so she crafted this handout that was ideal. And I know that the president of council, Chris Knisely, was up there. I know the government channel was up there. Ryan was up there. Ryan Schwartzoff was up there as usual with his handy cam, and he was which he's a wizard with. And he was in there taking some video feeds of this large event, and the entire college green was packed. I was up there, I was kind of meandering around and checking all the different organizations, and I felt like I was in the world's largest human traffic jam from time to time because there were so many people up there, but that's a good thing because this was a good event. And I know that Ryan put together some footage, and so I'm going to sign off with Ryan queuing that thing up, but until he does, I want to say thank you for tuning in, and please tune in next week for the next installment of the Mayor's Weekly Press Conference. Take care.
I think it's a really great event. We had great weather and a wonderful group of students and student organizations that are really energized, looking to get more students interested. I'm just one of several student affairs staff members that participate. It's actually planned by our Campus Development Center and the staff that work directly with the student orgs. So I know that they start planning actually about a year in advance, and then each student org has to register their org to be here, and I believe the deadline is in April of each year. So it's certainly not every org, but there's about 300 plus. We're just really hoping that our first year students get engaged in an organization or in some type of community involvement while they're here.
I love Athens. My grandma's been living here for as long as I can remember, so I really like being able to walk to places, get everything I need in a short distance from places. A lot of good people, like everybody's really nice and friendly and very